My name is Lee, and I am currently a second year college student, and I'm currently taking a women and gender studies class. So I did some research on a certain topic, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what this proposal paper that I wrote is about. Okay. So I decided to talk about the growing issue of on-campus sexual assault and the negative impacts it has on students. So some numbers for you to get the idea is 43% of all on-campus violence is specifically on-campus sexual assault or campus sexual assault, known as CSA. And 50% of these assaults happen during the red zone of a semester, which is during the start of a new year, so typically August to November. Most on-campus sexual assaults happen during this time, and it's seen, there's been research done on this, which is connecting the amount of increased social activity and first-year students with the increase of CSA on campuses. There is a whole level of intersectionality here that comes into play when it comes to queer individuals, different races and ethnicities, class, standing, poverty levels, disabilities. There's so many numbers, and I talk all about it in my paper. Specific cases I wanted to bring up were JK versus Arizona and the Board of Regents, which happened in 2008 when a student athlete raped another student, and the campus wanted to say that it wasn't under their jurisdiction, or that they weren't, they didn't have to be held accountable for holding the student accountable. That was only in 2008. And then in 2006, a couple years before, Simpson versus the University of Colorado happened when two students came forward about being sexually assaulted by different members of the football team at the University of Colorado, and other members of sports teams, like different sports athletes. And that happened in 2006. And the school said that they weren't liable under Title IX, which is a certain law that was put into place to help institutions, to help people under institutions that are being that get federal funding from like the state and the government and stuff like that, to be held accountable for helping and providing care for students and people that work for them, or different things that could be related to gender-based discrimination, like sexual assault, rape, things like that. So they said that that didn't affect them, but it did. So some other numbers for you is that 86% of on-campus law enforcement have dedicated staff to rape prevention, and 72% have specific staff for survivor response assistance. The interesting thing about this is that no one goes to university police or the police when it comes to situations like this. You hear time and time again when people go and they hear, the cliches, like, were you asking for it? Were you intoxicated? And they don't take people seriously. And a lot of people, especially within like queer community and other minorities, are afraid to go to the police, are afraid to come out about what happened to them, because they're afraid that they won't be given the adequate care, or they'll be discriminated against. So no one goes to the police, yet we have these specific departments within university police that are meant to handle this, instead of maybe under like Office of Diversity Inclusion, which would be 10 times better for students to be able to go to. So only 1 in 5 say that, 1 in 5 survivors say that they get adequate care when going to the police, or even institutions, when they want to get help, or want to come forward. So in my policy brief, I talk about a list of different things that universities and campuses can do, specifically SUNY, because that is a very big statewide institution that has lots of connections throughout different states. Well, I think it's only New York State, but that is something, these are things that they can do, like creating new training for either university police if there isn't adequate training, or professors, RAs. A lot of these old training videos that we have are so out of date. As a person who's gone through like sexual harassment training through campuses, as I'm a student worker, or, you know, working for other places like summer camps, the videos that we're watching are from the 90s. And they're so out of date to our modern world that has changed so much since then. And there's a lot of different care and a lot of different standards that we have now that weren't the same then. So we need new sexual assault and sexual harassment videos to be made. We need to universally talk about these issues. We can't let them fall through the cracks. We need to bring awareness, because awareness is key. That is something that I personally think that we can take all these steps by creating positions through the diversity inclusion departments of schools, instead of maybe on campus police, you know. But I think to do all those things by creating those positions, creating new training techniques, creating new training videos, to just talk and advertise and show that this is something that needs to be talked about more, is when the change will start to happen. And if we don't do that, the change won't happen. So if we don't do these things, students are gonna continue to struggle, which is not what we have come to school to do. Classes are hard. Creating schedules for yourself is hard. But one of those struggles should not be about struggling with sexual harassment or sexual assaults or rape on campuses. So this is my video talking about, this is me talking. This is me talking about this. This is me trying to create awareness through this project, through this policy brief for my campuses, for SUNY schools, for other campuses out there, and just for other people to know that they are seen and they are heard, and that changes you. So thank you for listening to me, and I hope that you have an amazing day.